So look who finally came up on the Bonebreaker set. I actually picked these things up right before I went to Comic-Con. I didn't have time to do a review on them because I was literally packing up that day and headed down there. I saw that my local toy store down the street had gotten them in, so I ran my nerdy ass down there and picked them up because I've been looking forward to this Bonebreaker for so fucking long, and I think they did an amazing job on them. But enough about this. We'll get into this. We're going to have an extremely long rant, so if you don't want to stick around for the rant, you want to skip through like 30 minutes because this one's going to be a heater if you just came here for the toys, because I can understand the rants start to get annoying, at least to some people. Some people love them. Just went to Comic-Con. I wasn't going to go because I didn't want to wear a mask. You actually didn't have to wear a mask. You put a mask on when you walked in the door. I took it off the second I got in the building. Not one person the whole time I was there at the show for 2.5 days. Nobody ever told me to put my mask on. So it was actually really good. I really enjoyed the show. Got to hang out with some toy friends. Got to see some toy companies. Got to see some toys. It was a blast. Hung out with Broccoli, Toy Shiz, Shart, Kala. Met a few fans of the channel. I always love that when you guys come up and say hi to me. That was definitely cool. Went to the Hasbro panel. It was the Hasbro's worst showing, I think, ever. Their booth, normally they do this big giant display of all the Marvel things where they put it together like just like the year before, well, 2 years before now. They did this big giant display. They pulled out like every Marvel Legend they ever did. They did some big giant fight scene, and then all the nerds just swarm around it for 5 days taking pictures of it and video of it. And like you're just completely blown away by it. You're like, holy shit, that's amazing. That looks so cool. Like every year they've been doing that. Or sometimes they do a Star Wars display with like the Millennium Falcon. They did this whole Ice Hoth thing, which was amazing. None of that. They had the worst showing at the show, which is weird because you think Hasbro would come with the best one. You go to the Mattel booth, they did this big giant display with Masters of the Universe, this nice display with Jurassic World, this cool display with the wrestlers. They killed it. Like Mattel came correct, everybody else came correct. Marvel Legends was Marvel Hasbro, just the shittiest showing ever. No exclusives, no way to buy anything. Like one of the things for me for the show, like normally I go there for 5 days to buy my exclusives, do my thing, get their preview night, get an exhibitor badge, get in the show early, try to get in and get my Marvel Legends. Like that's like one of the highlights for the show. No Marvel Legends exclusives. So that took quite a bit of fun out of it. NECA did have some stuff. The only thing I got from the show was the Gremlin and the wedding dress, which NECA gave that to Shiz and Shiz gave it to me. So I would have bought that. That thing was $50, so I got it for free. So thank you, NECA, for giving it to Toy Shiz, and Toy Shiz, thank you for giving it to me. Went to the Hasbro panel, sat right up front where I could look at all those dudes right in the face where they could just pretend like it wasn't there. Did a commentary of the whole letdown panel. It was definitely pretty sad. Everything that they did, like Jesse Falcon was there, which I don't know why the fuck he's there, because he has nothing to do with Marvel Legends, but for some reason, it seems like he's still running the show. So the rest of the Marvel Legends panel, all the Hasbro guys, all the Marvel Legends guys are still, for some reason, sitting there swinging on his dick. Like I think that Dan was sitting next to him, literally jerking him off while he was talking. It was pretty embarrassing. And then they hired a new chick, put her on the team, which was a great decision on their part because she's fairly good looking. Like that was a good hire. I'm sure that she doesn't know anything about Marvel or Marvel Legends, but hey, if you get to look at that walk by your office all day, that was a good call on your part. I also just watched a video from X Manny, and he did a San Diego Comic-Con wrap-up video. He wasn't able to make it to San Diego Comic-Con, but he still did a wrap-up video. I watched it, and holy shit. This is a guy that I thought was swinging on Hasbro's dick for years. Man, he set the record straight on every figure. Please go check that video out. He just completely levels them. I guess this is what happens when you don't give them a figurative review and you give everybody else that doesn't deserve one a figurative review. Like, X Manny is definitely the guy that you want to review your shit. Like, I'm sure he would suck up if you gave it to him for free. Man, he leveled their team. Please go check out X Manny's video. While I was there at the Hasbro panel, I was looking at, watching these reviews, commentating. Shart told me to shut the fuck up. Shart also saved me a seat to the panel. I told him if he wanted me to shut the fuck up, he shouldn't save me a seat, this is what I do. We're still cool. We went to dinner. I love Shart. Don't think that I don't. I know I talk shit about everybody, but I do love Shart. I love all these other YouTube channels, even though I call them fuck boys and they've been bought. That's because they have, but I still love them. Went to the panel. They started dropping reviews. Everything Disney that Jesse is control of, fucking amazing. Looks amazing. All original sculpts look good. And then all this shit that we care about, the hardcore original comic book fans of the shit, everything they revealed, lazy repaints. They're like, hey, we're gonna round out this symbiote team. Here's Riot. And they put him up and it's Venom. I'm like, that's pretty sure that's Venom. No, that's Riot now. Like he's kind of slightly purple, so it's Riot. Oh, okay. Well, here's this other pink chick for the symbiote team. Well, that looks exactly like a figure that we already have, except for it's pink now. And then every figure they revealed, like Razor A, here's this cool Razorback figure. Had Robo come down, which, hey, Robo, come reveal this figure. So they make him walk all the way down there. Here's the figure, and hands it back to him. Give him the fucking figure. Take the figure, put it in your pocket. Walk off. Don't make him get out of his seat, walk all the way down there, and just show a figure when you already showed the fucking figure. Like, that shit was so lame. It was embarrassing. I actually felt bad for the guy. And I was like, dude, that's sad, dude. That's pathetic. If you're going to bring him down there, hand him a figure. Hand him a fucking figure. Here you go. Here's a fucking figure. I remember one year they gave Shart an action figure. I thought that was really cool. First time, here's the figure, and Shart, here you go. You can fucking have it. That was cool. That shit they did to Robo, that was fucking embarrassing. That was fucking bad. That was like when you go to your neighbor's house and their mom's sitting there making a fucking pie, and they're like, oh my God, I make the best pie ever. I make the best pie ever. Well, it's time for you to go home. We got to eat dinner. Like, I can't have a fucking piece of pie? You cheap fucks. You gonna make them walk all the way down there? You're not gonna give them a fucking action figure? That was fucking lame. And then they're sitting there, and Dwight didn't want to show up. I don't know, because he's too pussy to see all the hate. I don't know why the fuck Dwight didn't show up. Do some shitty little video of him. And now you got Jesse that doesn't run the company, is now running the show. And all these other guys just kind of let Jesse take the lead. I'm pretty sure it was Ryan on the microphone, and then Dan was sitting next to him. I sometimes get him confused. I think Dan's the one that always wears the hat. Started revealing these figures, and I was like, hey, here's this figure. And everybody's like, huh. And then nobody knows who the fuck it is, so they gotta go, oh, it's the Fly. And we're like, oh yeah, it's the Fly. And it's another repainted bullshit figure with a new head on it and wings that clip on the hole that's already in the back. And we're sitting there going, wait a second. We can't get the fucking Inhumans, but we're getting the Fly, which I love the obscure characters. I do. The Razorback was cool for another repainted figure. And everything they did, hey, here's another Black Panther. Okay, that's pretty cool. I kind of like the black and blue Black Panther that I have, but he did have the short cape on him, which was something that I've been wanting for a while. So I wasn't totally bummed out. And then they show a white Black Panther, and everybody just sat there and were like, you literally hear crickets. And you're like, what the fuck? And you're waiting for somebody to know who the fuck it is. And then finally they go, oh, it's the security for Black Panther. So even Black Panther has white cops. Like, that shit was, I mean, I'm going to get it. I'm probably going to get one. I mean, any Marvel Legend they get, I'm going to get. I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'm going to get it. And every reveal they did for the comic book line was just shit. And then they're like, oh, here's Terrax. Again. But we're not going to modify them. We're not going to repaint them. We're going to give you the same figure that was selling for $160 on Macari, that's now selling for $60. We're going to give you the same paint wash, same everything again. But we're not just going to give them to you. So all you collectors, all of your old school hardcore collectors that have been following us forever, we're not just going to reissue this figure. We're going to put them in a 2-pack with the figure that all you old school collectors need. So now you have to buy the 2-pack to get the other character that you need, and now you're sitting there with 2 Terraxes, and your Terrax went from $160, now he's down to $60, maybe $40. That shit sucks. Like, I get hooking up the new collectors with some shit, But at the same time, you're pissing all over the old ones that have this old collection that they're proud of, that they actually have stuff that other collectors don't have. They have stuff that's actually worth money. And now when you do that, it's just our collection isn't worth shit, which I'm not doing this to make money. It would just be nice if it was worth something. And so then the next day I go to I get an exhibitor badge, I get in the show early, I'm filming all the booths, and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't think I'll go to the Hasbro booth. They'll probably have it roped off or whatever. They didn't. You could just walk right in. I'm pretty sure it was Ryan and Dan. Hopefully I'm getting their names right. We're in the booth, and I was like, oh, fuck. Because I talk so much shit about these guys. I'm not going to walk up to them and go, hey, buddy, what's up? Because I talk shit about you guys. Because I really don't care for you guys that much. Like, I used to think you guys are pretty cool. I don't really think you're pretty cool because you took the Marvel license, which is a license that I love. Like, Marvel's by far my favorite. People always go, why do you buy this shit if you hate on it so much? Because I love fucking Marvel. I just got to drive down a road paved with shit to get it. Like with Marvel, all I get is lazy repainted toys. If you walk around the toy show and you go to all these other toy companies, all their toys look amazing. Like they're all original sculpts. They're all great paint. Like they're getting fucked up by shitty ass Mattel. Like I go to the Mattel booth, they got these dinosaurs, original sculpts, great paint, action, sound. They're really cool toys for basically the same price point as Marvel Legends. They go over there, you go to the Mattel booth, you got this giant He-Man display, which is fucking amazing. They got a Jurassic World display, which is really cool. They got a wrestler display, which I'm not like wrestlers, but then that's really cool. And then you go to Hasbro booth, they don't have dick. So I'm walking through there, I see those guys, I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck with them, I'm not gonna say hi to them, there's nothing worse than when somebody talks shit about you all the time, and then when you see them, you act like you're a friend. Like, I'm not gonna act like I'm your friend, because I talk so much shit about you. And then Dan goes, oh, Tucker Art's in the house. And I was just going to let it go. And I was like, fuck it, whatever. And I was like, you know what? Thanks for the shout at the panel. And he goes, well, we didn't think you'd want to shout out at the panel. And I'm like, well, thanks for all the product samples. And well, we didn't think you would want product samples. All you do is talk shit about our stuff. Well, that's because your shit is fucking lazy, Dan. You think this shit is comparable to the other shit at the show? Walk around the fucking show. If you think this shit, this lazy repainted bullshit, is on the same level as everybody else, then you got bigger problems. We buy this shit because it's Marvel. We don't buy this shit because it's Marvel Legends. We love Marvel. I love Marvel. I've been into Marvel for as long as I can remember. I grew up reading those comic books. They actually used to be really good back in the day. So he says that. I say that. We get into it a little bit. I did video it. I did record it. He caught me off guard. And he goes, well, you're talking a lot of shit in your videos. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I do. And he goes, yeah, well, you take it. I take it. I throw the race thing in it. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, you call us like the Asian Barbie twins. Well, for one, I didn't know calling an Asian guy Asian was offensive or racist. Like if we're sitting there looking at it like five guys over there, and I go, yeah, it's that guy over there. And your buddy's going, well, which one of those five? They're all wearing the same clothes. Which one? And you go, oh, well, it's the Asian guy. If that's being offensive, if that's being racist, man, you need to go play outside some more. Like you've been playing with toys for too long. Like you've surrounded yourself with such a liberal crowd that where saying somebody's Asian is racist. So whatever, I said I'm not going to call you guys Asian anymore. I'm going to try to remember your names and show you that much respect. I'm pretty sure Dan, I'm pretty sure the other guy's Ryan, you're still the Barbie twins because I think that you would be better suited at Barbie than Hasbro. Because what you're doing at Hasbro, I also think that you guys are so low on the fucking totem pole that whatever you say just gets washed out. Like I don't think anybody over there is listening to you guys. So if you guys want me to quit talking shit about you, give me a fucking interview. And then I quit taking it personal. Then I'll quit talking about you guys personal. Give me 15 minutes on my channel with any of you fucking guys. All you guys can all dogpile up. We'll hash it out in 15 minutes. I can ask you all the uncomfortable questions that you won't answer for anybody else. And you just sit there and go, oh, we're not really at liberty to answer that fuck. It's fucking toys, dude. That's it. Instead of like Like, you used to have Bobby Vallon on your fucking team, and because he wasn't sucking Jesse's dick, and because he wasn't a yes man, and because he was going in a cool direction, you get rid of him, and then you hire, which I can't say Asian, you hired Ryan. I think Ryan was already there. You hired, well, Dan, sorry, bro, you're the newest guy, and then you got the chick. If you're going to trade out Dan for Bobby Vallon, are you fucking kidding me? That's fucking garbage. But either way, Dan, you're the only one that said anything to me. Like, you got a fucking big boy dick on you. I was so overly impressed by you saying something to me. That was the most gangster thing that any of you pussies have ever did. Like, I talk shit about all these YouTube channels, all these toy companies, and you're the only person ever that has ever confronted me. So props to you for that. I will definitely from now on try to show you a little bit of respect on the channel. But if you want me to quit talking shit, give me an interview. Your product sample, would I love to get something to review? If it was cool, if it's a lazy repaint, don't bother sending it because it won't work out for either one of us. But if it's something like this, fuck yes. I would definitely love to review. I would definitely love to be the first person to suck your dick to tell you how good Bonebreaker is, because he is truly amazing. So as far as that goes, Dan, I'm going to try to quit calling you Asian. I don't know why that's offensive. Thanks for watching my videos, by the way. I knew you guys were watching. I fucking knew it. And you just confirmed it. But all you other pussies that work for the Hasbro team, it's a fucking wrap. And when Jesse, I don't know if it, from what I saw, Jesse revealed all his movie figures. The movie figures are fucking amazing. So Jesse goes over there, takes credit for all of his movie figures, doesn't bring any of you fuckboys with him from what I saw, takes credit for all this hard work that you guys did, and then he comes to your Hasbro panel and takes credit for all your shit once again. Like, Jesse, I can't say shit about you. You're still a gangster, man. I still love you to death. Like, you got these guys swinging on your dick, and props to you for that. If you're still here, we're going to check out this Bonebreaker wave.
It's not the first time I've seen the side of you. I'm through, and now you're walking on such a thin line, and I'm about to lose my nerve when all of this has cost me so much. Now leaving in the dust everything we had. You threw it away, and I have wasted too much.
All right, so I got them lined up for favorite to least favorite. Of course, this Bonebreaker. Man, I've been wanting this thing forever. He does come with an extra set of fisted hands. I think that's completely pointless and a waste of plastic. I would have rather had like an extra pistol or a gun or something to go with this thing, or a blast effect. I went ahead and jazzed mine up a little bit because I thought that he should have came with a few more accessories. I went ahead and put a blast effects in this. I was all out of orange ones, so I went ahead and put a blue one in there, which is pretty cool, but I would rather have an orange one in there. And then as far as the rest of the action figure goes, he came with this gun right here. I kind of wish that he would have had like a gun that came out of his tank that he could hold and shoot, but he did give you this one, so it kind of, I don't know, this way or that way. It's such a cool action figure. Who really gives a shit? So he came with this gun. It didn't come with the blast effect. I went ahead and put that in there. This is a gun from Bobby Vallon. Those guns always look amazing. He had a hole on his back. I hate when these action figures have a hole on their back and there's nothing to plug on it, so I went ahead and took a bazooka that I had sitting in my drawer. I'm pretty sure that went to Deadpool, so I think that looks good. Then you don't have a plug on the back. I went there and I was checking out the one that they had on display, even though I had one, and this motor has a little notch in it for you don't put it in backwards. Like, the air vent on a motor, guys, I know that you guys are toy nerds, Marvel Legends toy nerds, like, and they put the motor in backwards. So if you're going through pictures of Comic-Con, look at the motor, it's backwards, and then you'll see how it snaps together. Like, there's when it snapped together, so it had a gap because they put the motor in backwards and couldn't get it to snap together. And then it was pretty funny. It was great to see that. On the spatch hatch, just seeing flips up, these little canisters come off. That's a cool little touch. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this ever. The tracks don't roll. I mean, that would have been a nice little bonus. That would have really been cool if you could sit here and, and play action figure with it. That didn't happen. This guy does turn on here. And then the rest of the articulation is good. Everybody knows that the sunglasses pop up. They did a really good job on. Man, he's so good. He's so good. Like, I mean, with me, he's probably going to be figure of the year. Like, I just absolutely love it. They put a little bit of splash of paint on there. I don't know, maybe I'll hit up my boy Brock to put like a rub or a wash or something on this thing just to bring out this detail. There's tons of great sculpted detail on this. When they do sculpted detail, they're really good at it. Like they do it on all their movie figures. As far as you can see on the comic book figures, it's pretty much non-existent. Something like this, I think this is one of Dwight's favorites. Like they're finally going to hopefully round out the Reavers team. Definitely looking forward to that. They painted the headlights on this thing. He's truly amazing. He's amazing. Like the price hikes, $25 a figure. So it's like $27 after tax. If you order these things online, they're basically $30 each. At that price point, you're playing with all the heavy hitters. You're playing with NECA. You're playing with Diamond Select. You're fucking with everybody at that price point. So now you got to actually make a cool action figure. These lazy repainted action figures at this price, they're just not going to cut it with me. Am I going to stop buying them? No, because they're Marvel, and I love Marvel. I just got to drive down that shit paved road to get there. Then you have Maggot, another figure that we've all been looking forward to forever. Comes with a little robotic Maddox. These are definitely cool. They actually put a little bit of paint on them, not much. Of course, they don't stand. It's just crazy. They got all this articulation, and they use such shitty, cheap plastic to where they still won't stand, it's just insane. This one wraps around his arm. They use pins. They use pins on the legs, but then no pins on the arms. Like, why are you guys so fucking cheap, man? Can we get... I mean, this one, the pins don't bother me because the trench coat covers it. The trench coat, it's got that sculpted detail on it. Like, when they do it right. They just don't do it often. But he's really cool. He's my second figure in the wave. Definitely happy that I have him. And then they have Siren. She comes with some extra set of hands. This is where... she's my third favorite figure in the wave, only because I've wanted one forever and we finally got one. You can put her in your X Factor team, your X Force team. It's crazy when the guys that do the box art know what the figure's supposed to look like more than the people actually making the figure. To make this figure without a screaming head, are you guys, and you wonder why I make fun of you guys. Because you guys do stupid shit like that. Give us two heads, or at least give us a screaming head. Like, why would you not put her in a screaming pose? And then you could do like some little like sound effect, like coming out, like DC did with Aquaman, where it comes out of his forehead. You could do something cool like that. Like it's just so lame. Like that looks, it just doesn't display good. But the box art's cool. Maybe you guys should fire one of the Barbie twins and hire the guy doing the box art. Or hire like a YouTuber like X-Manny or Shart or Bug or something. Somebody that actually knows something about the character. Somebody that would actually do this justice, because you guys aren't cutting it. This figure, another lazy repaint, no sculpted shit anywhere. They do give you these little rubber things that slip around their ankle. And then you get a cloth cape, which I do like the cloth cape, although it's the cheapest material known to mankind. If you blew your nose on this, it'd like rip your nose apart like sandpaper. You couldn't, it's just... I don't really know if it's cloth or paper. It's extremely cheap. I do like the cloth. I'm glad it's cloth instead of plastic because you can move it around a little bit. It works. You get a Siren. I'm just glad that we got a Siren. The action figure, extremely cheap and lazy. As far as a comparison on this one, we'll just go ahead and do this right now. I do have the Banshee. I know everybody's been asking for a Banshee forever. Most of the people asking for Banshee are people that don't have a Banshee. Do we need an update on this? Yeah, of course we do. If this is all you're going to do for an update, a cheap, lazy, repainted piece of shit figure, who gives a shit? I may as well just keep displaying this one with these clunky ball hips and shoulders. Like, at least this one, they got the head sculpt right. This is what we should have got. This is it, guys. I'm helping you guys out because obviously you guys don't know shit about your own product. To make something like this without a screaming mouth, and then you put it on display and you just walk around it proudly like, look what I did. You're like a kid that finally went shit in the toilet instead of his pants, and you're proud that you took a shit. Well, it's really not that big of a deal. Then you have, let me get his name right because I always say it's right. Doran, whatever. Comes with 2 extra hands. The fisted hands, I think, are way too small, so you just take those, throw them in your accessory drawer with all your other hands. they kind of nailed it. Like, this is what he's supposed to look like. It's another cheap, lazy repaint. So let's, if you're keeping score, you got Bone Breaker, amazing. Maggot, pretty amazing. The rest of this shit, all lazy repainted figures. No sculpted anything on this. Has a hole on its back. I hate when they have a hole in the back and there's nothing to plug in the back. Heaven forbid you make two torsos. Make one with a hole, one without a hole. God, is the budget that tight, guys? Is it that tight? Because Diamond Select is making an Apocalypse for the same price point as you, and he's not crying about how Marvel wants to take all his money. He still manages to turn out amazing shit, way better than your guys' shit. Like, when you see their Apocalypse, you should be embarrassed to pull your Apocalypse out because he's that good. The head sculpt on this is absolutely perfect. I mean, when they do it right. They just don't do it often. But you do have a Darwin in your collection, so it's always nice to get a good character. Then you have Vulcan. You get the third brother. I guess we'll just pull out the comparisons for him, too. Havoc, too. I don't have a Cyclops down here yet, but I'll grab one real quick. I got one right above me. Hopefully I don't knock over my display. So if you want the three brothers, you can put these three together. I guess I could have just pulled out that other Havoc. This is the old one. We'll just keep him out for the next one. This is their new, like, they brag that they're doing a new standard body mold. Like, that's insane. Like, hey, we got a new mold, and this is what all the action figures are going to look like now. They're just going to basically be this guy with some clamp-on rubber shit like this, and then repainted. This gold is embarrassing bad. Like, you can't paint gold. Like, your gold plastic is the cheapest plastic there is. Every time you use gold, look at that. It's so bad. And then you got that chick coming out with the Galactus. That gold on there looks like shit. He doesn't come with any accessories at all. Nothing. I went ahead and pulled these out of the drawer because he needs some kind of power effect. He's like one of the most powerful mutants. Well, I think they're all the most powerful mutants ever made. And he's the brother to the 3-pack. And you get no accessories whatsoever. He does look cool. He actually looks just like this. Once again, just a generic repainted figure with a new head. That's it. And then you're going to have like 100 of these things in your collection before they're done with the mold. Get the Cyclops out of here. And now we'll look at the Havoc. This, another repainted piece of shit, but he comes with some really cool accessories. Finally, thank you guys. That is fucking awesome. That is amazing. This is exactly what we're asking for. With superheroes, when they have a power set, and then you make an accessory to match their power set, and now you have something really cool. If you don't do that, you just have something shitty like this, which this is my old one. I'm going to put his ass on Makari and get rid of him, but because I really don't need him in the collection anymore when I have him. Because this is clearly better. These were good back in the day. Actually, they're still pretty good. I like the silver collar on this one, but I actually kind of like the bullseye thing on his chest better than this one. We'll get him out of here. The accessory's cool. It doesn't really fit that good on the wrist. It spins around, but it works. I love this action figure. I love it. Like, I'm not going to talk shit about it. For 25 bucks, this is what every figure should look like. Every figure should have an accessory. If you're not going to give us multiple hands, which I'm not a fan of multiple hands and multiple heads, I just like one because the multiple shit just goes in my drawer. And then if I go to sell it, because I started selling some of my shit, I can't ever find it. But this is amazing. You guys actually did a pretty good job on this. And then you did the first appearance Sabretooth. I'll pull out some comparisons for him in a second. Did anybody ask for first appearance Sabretooth? I know I didn't. Like, you guys put enough clip-on shit on him to actually pull it off. You put some feet on him and some hands on him. I'm sure those are probably reused from somewhere. You put a collar on him. He looks cool. He definitely looks cool. I don't think, because I'm cutting back, trimming my collection down, it's like, is this figure going to make the... If he didn't come with the Build-A-Figure, you wouldn't be looking at him. Like, you don't see Wolverine up here because I don't feel like I needed that Wolverine, especially for $27. So I didn't get him. I don't need a Wolverine with a glow claws. Like, that shit just doesn't matter to me. But he looks pretty cool. If you ever wanted a first appearance Sabretooth, there he is. Let's pull out some comparisons. All right, so here's my Sabretooth comparison. As far as my Sabretooth goes, I have a shit ton of them. I'm trying to downsize on them, so I'm keeping... I got rid of my Marvel Legends Sabretooth, so I'm keeping the Diamond Select Sabretooth. Here's what you got. Same price point. You got a Sabretooth, which a massive Sabretooth, so you can see them next to a regular figure, which I like Sabretooth oversized. I like them big. Nobody wants a first appearance Sabretooth. Nobody wants some scrawny little Sabretooth. Whose idea? Like, who the fuck is in charge over there? Who's picking shit like that? Like, who is sitting there going, hey, I got it. Let's do a first appearance scrawny Sabretooth because nobody's ever asked for that. Here's Diamond Selects, same price point. Same. 27 bucks. Well, let's be fair. 25 bucks, 29 bucks. It's actually back in the day, these were like 20 bucks. But back in the day, these things were also 15 bucks. So you're real close. You're playing apple. You got apples to apples here. But on this, oh, you see these black lines? These things are actually sculpted in. Like you run your thumbnail across that, you can actually feel that. Like this thing, tons of washes. Like you got like an airbrush on it. You got highlights. It looks truly amazing. The articulation, of course, is a little bit better on the Marvel Legends. They could have put a little bit more paint on the nails, on the toes, but that was back in the day. They do shit like that. They did give us paint on this. But if you're only going to have one Sabretooth in your collection, it's definitely not going to be this one. Like this one's going on Macari. This one's going back on the shelf. Now let's show you why you you also have the other Havoc. Sorry, I don't know if I pulled these out. As far as the other Havocs go, you got the old one, which we already pulled him out, and then you have this one. So there's all your Havocs, and you're sitting there and you're trying to downsize your collection. You can't get rid of him. You have to have him because he goes in your, was it X-Force or X-Factor team? Can't remember right now. And then you need him because you need him for your Ultimate Avengers team. So, and then you need him just because that's like Havoc, and I'm sure he goes to some other team looking like that. Let me show you where this guy goes, because I do actually have that team pieced together. So don't get rid of this guy if you're trying to downsize, because you do need him. When they do all their characters, oh, here he is. This is the team that he goes in, so you can actually round this team out, which is kind of cool. You got that cap. When you're sitting there, when they made that cap, you're like, what the fuck is that cap for? Well, that's what he was for. The Scarlet Witch is a little off. I mean, that's, you gotta work with what you got, man. That's it. Now let's pull down the Reavers, because that's the shit I've been waiting for. That's the bread and butter to this set. I know we're not there yet, but we're real close. And just being able to get this far on this team, this is what keeps me collecting Marvel Legends. It's not the lazy repaints. It's not their shitty lineups. It's not their poor character selection. It's being able to put this together. It's being a Marvel fan for as long as you can remember. And then you finally get to put something like this together. If everybody's going to ask, hey, how'd you do like all the Reeves thing? Here's what you did. He came with one of these heads. If you were planning for the future, to planning on building this team, you had to get 3 of these things. Hopefully you were smart enough and just bought them and took the head out and put a different head in and returned it like I did, and you didn't have to buy 3 of these. Now these are no longer for sale, so good luck getting these heads. I'm sure that they're going to be crazy expensive on eBay because a lot of people are going to try to complete this team. So if you're trying to do it, God, it would be expensive to do. This is how I did it. I went ahead and bought, I already had 2 of these. At the time, these guys were fairly cheap. So you just, let me back these up so you can get a better look at it. If you like how I did it and you're trying to complete it yourself, I had an extra one of these because it had 2 different heads. So you can take this, I mean, that's basically just a head swap and you're good to go on there. I put different hands on it. And then if you had 2 other extra heads to build the other one that had the gray hair, it's just his vest. I kind of modified it a little bit, put that thing on there, and you paint the hair. My boy Brock hooked these up for me. You paint the hair gray, and then you have that one. And then for the black one, you were like, dude, who do I get for the black one? What body would work perfect for the black guy? Which I don't know if I should call him black. That might actually be racist. I don't want to offend the Barbie twins. This is the body that I used on this. So, I mean, you can see that that's who that is. And then my boy Brock hooked this up. He went ahead and painted the pants camo on it. Thank God he didn't leave them black. Left the black boots on there. So this totally works. There's the face that he did on that. And he killed it on this. Did a really outstanding job. Shout out to my boy Brock for getting that done. Put these back together, then you can finally start to round out and complete your Reavers team, which is awesome. I know I was fucking with Dwight like 10 years ago, back when he used to still talk to me about getting this team together. And it seemed like he was excited to do it. And if you're wondering how long I've been collecting, this is how long I've been collecting. So when you guys are like wondering why I get upset when you guys make lazy, shitty action figures, it's because of this. I've been with it in the beginning. I used to be a completist. I had every single Marvel Legends ever made, every Toy Biz figure ever made, every 5-inch figure ever made. I'm starting to sell that, trim it back. I am keeping at least one of every character in my toy room. I'm trying to get 10,000 figures down to 5,000 action figures. But if you wonder why I get emotional, you wonder why I care, you wonder why I make fun of you, it's because this is how long I've been in the game. I always thought this thing was an amazing toy. Now I'm gonna sell this and get rid of this shit too, because now I have this. Dwight, thank you so much for finally making him. I know I don't see eye to eye with you guys pretty much ever, but we did on this one. You guys hit a home run. If you're wondering how to complete the team, you need Pierce, not this one. You need him in his Reavers costume. So if you guys have this figure, don't insult your review team and with him in his Hellfire costume. Dwight, we need another one. You already have the head. You can do some repainted mashup bullshit with like Machine Man, throw a Magneto cape. I don't care how shitty you kit bash it, just as long as you get this guy in my collection. And we need a pretty boy, and then we can put this team to rest. It's one of the coolest teams ever made. I mean, this guy sucks, but just look at that together. Hopefully you guys were smart enough to pre-plan to get these together. Because if they made this and you weren't, and you don't have any of these, oh man, that sucks for you guys. Hasbro guys, the shit talking stops when I get an interview. Let's go, Brandon.